What's up everyone, my name's Michael and welcome to Klein Concept from Mallorca. First gotta get some takis in. So today's the last day of my stay here. I've been here for the past almost 2 weeks. I've been based in a nice isolated finca between Port of Pollença and Pollença town. Pollença is pretty much far up in the north of the islands. I'll put that on a map over here so you get an idea of where I'm based at now. And I gotta say that from a location perspective, at least for the cycling side of things, I felt it was pretty perfect because it is fairly close to get to some epic routes. When I basically get out of the gate and turn right, it takes me 5 minutes to get up to the climb to Cap the Formentor. When I turn out left, this pretty much gets me on the route right to Calobra and that epic climb. And there are also plenty of options for flat recovery rides, which guide you through a lot of like quiet flat roads for hours and hours and hours through beautiful scenery as well. Let me quickly touch on the weather as well. So when I was on the way here and I looked at the 10-day forecast, it looked like it's going to be raining and there are going to be thunderstorms for pretty much 9 out of the 10 days that I was able to look ahead. So on one hand, I'm a bit sad that the sun isn't really out. But on the other hand, I think now it's 18 degrees, shady. So for a long ride like this might be perfect weather condition. And yeah, when you go out this early, I mean, it's not super early, it's 9 a.m., but the roads are still empty. In the end, it turned out that we had sun and no rain pretty much every day. I think we maybe had an hour or two of rain throughout the whole 14-day stay here. So yeah, one of the first routes that I did here was the Cap Formentor one. Trying to climb up Cap Formentor today. So, this guy. Let's see how that goes. Beautiful, beautiful climb. Not super intense. You have a nice mixture of climbing up for, I think, 15-20 minutes, then having a little bit of a descent, then climbing again, then having a little bit of a descent again. So I think it was the perfect route to get my fitness up a little bit from just riding flat most of the time in Berlin. Beautiful scenery pretty much everywhere along the way. You have a little bit of a viewpoint basically in the middle or in the first third of the road where you can have a nice outlook. Then you have a nice small descent. Then you cycle a little bit through the woods, I would say, until you start getting to the climb up to the lighthouse, and that of course gives you the most scenic look from there. And of course from there you also have to get back, so yeah, it's quite an adventure and a nice day trip, especially for the beginning. Then yeah, for the recovery rides, you have a lot of options in regards to beautiful country roads where you can basically just roll along nicely. You have some smaller climbs when you're cycling through some beautiful towns along the way. So yeah, I think enough options to recover after an epic day out on the day before. So today, we're on an easy recovery ride with Conrad. We're recovering from too much food mainly.
Done.
Nice one. Easy peasy. And then yes, of course, there is the topic of Calobra. And last year it took me hours to climb up to the place where basically the road that guides you or that leads you to Calobra is basically just going underneath itself. So I think it's a pretty epic spot that you might know from a bunch of pictures or videos. But yeah, I only managed to go up there, which felt quite successful already back then. But I have to say it only felt like half the job because it was only half the way. The thing is, why I didn't go further is that from that point you cycle down to the Calobra beach, which I think is a 700-meter descent, which then of course means that you also need to climb all of that 700 meters back up in a rather short distance. I think it's like 7 kilometers for 700 meters, so it can be quite intense. So yeah, this year, my friend Rob and I, we gave it a try. We also ended up basically at the same point where I ended up last year. It was very intense.
How would you rate this ride, Rob, on a scale from 1 to dope?
Very dope, but exhausting.
But yesterday, actually, basically the day or 2 days before leaving the island, I wanted to give it another try. And I basically wanted to give myself the time and yeah, try to ride the full epic road down to the beach and back again.
It is a solitude ride this morning, 9 a.m. Gonna try to go for Calobra beach, which is 2,000 meters of climbing in total. So yeah, wish me luck.
And luckily, I gotta say, I managed that. It was very challenging, but I was very happy that I did so. And when I came back, of course, you have an amazing feeling of accomplishment. But I have to say, it is a tough one. Like going up to the place where the route goes basically underneath itself. That's already great. And you have an epic view, an epic scenic view from up there. Going down to Calobra beach, it is partially quite steep. It felt very long descending. I mean, the descent was amazing, but while descending, I constantly kept thinking, oh my God, I mean, I really have to climb up back here again. And yeah, my legs have been burning by that time already. So yeah, I think I took a 15-minute break down there at the beach, took the scenery in, had a little bit of a drink, some snacks, and yeah, then took the route back on up there.
Okay, so arrived in Calobra. I was a little bit worried about getting back home because already the descent was very, very long. And I guess it's gonna be way longer climbing everything up because there haven't been pretty much any flat parts. So yeah, it's just gonna be uphill for I guess the next hour or 2 or 3, who knows.
And then yeah, started climbing again for a very long time. So it felt pretty much endless. It also got very windy. So at times I felt like I'm cycling backwards, kind of, because I'm already going like 10 kilometers per hour. Then with strong wind, you feel like you're really almost going back to the beach again. But yeah, it is doable even for somebody that's not super fit like me. So yeah, you just gotta believe in yourself and just do it. Just give it a try. Worst case, you just have to call somebody to pick you up there, which might be quite an embarrassing moment, but still worth, I think, for that descent, because the descent down to Calobra beach is really, really epic, and yeah, worth taking the risk of yeah, needing to take a couple of more breaks to come back up. Also, when it comes to traffic, people are very, very friendly and they take their time. They're very patient. I mean, when you're going up a climb which has a lot of switchbacks, where you can't really see the road, when you can't really see if there is a car coming from the other side, yeah, some people just really hang behind you, going 10 kilometers an hour for multiple minutes, just taking their time, not stressing you out, not coming too close to you, not making their engine roar, making you aware that you should go off to the side, let them pass. They really just take their time, are very patient, and they wait for the right moment where it's safe to overtake, and then they do so. So the only thing that's maybe a little bit stressful are the massive tourist buses that are, of course, also going up to those epic points and epic scenic points. But if you go out early enough in the morning, and with early enough, I don't think that you need to go out at like 5 a.m. or something. I was most of the time going out between 8 and 9 a.m. Or even sometimes a little bit later. Then you're perfectly fine. I think I only had like 2 or 3 of those massive buses overtake me pretty much towards the end of the trip. And that's, I think, totally fine. They also take their time and they're also not taking any risk. And I think that there are quite skilled drivers going up and down with those massive buses through all those switchbacks and rather tight corners. So yes, I think if you're in Europe, you have the time, you love cycling, even if it's just for an extended weekend, like taking Friday and Monday off from work, coming here for 4 days, renting a bike. I mean, if you're coming here peak season, then of course, try to get a bike and try to book a bike already a couple of days or a couple of weeks ahead. But I had a friend of mine come over here now for a couple of days for an extended weekend actually, and we just managed to rent him spontaneously a bike for 2 days just on the spot, and that was all fine. So yeah, if you're looking for epic climbs, or if you just want to like roll along for hours and hours and hours and hours in rather flat territory, I think Mallorca is actually perfect to come here. So yeah, if you're in Europe, I'd say give it a try. So I hope you enjoyed this very special episode with a little bit of ride footage in there as well. If you enjoyed this, consider hitting that like button. If you didn't subscribe yet, consider subscribing as well. It will mean a lot to me. And hope to see you in the next one. Bye. And yeah, also, if you like Takis, which might be the best chips on the planet, then Mallorca is also a great place to visit.